Hey team, it's Mr. Z, and today we're going to review the LCM, most commonly referred to as the least common multiple, and we're going to go ahead and dive in each part of this word. So remember that multiples are sequences that are added to themselves. For example, if I took the sequence of 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, and I repeatedly add 2, and I can generate a sequence which is the multiple of 2. Notice that the multiple of 2 is also all even numbers. The lowest common multiple is exactly what the word means. The least, the smallest number that two lists have in common. And what do I mean by lists? Above, the sequence. This is a sequence of multiples. So let's go ahead and find some multiples and identify the LCM. So essentially we're going to use repeated addition to identify what number 5 and 24 both go into, and I want the least. So I'm going to start off with 5 because it's smaller, and I'm going to go ahead and use the fact that I know that it's always going to end in a 5 or a 0. Okay, go for a bit. Now I'm going to do 24. 24 plus 24 if I need to. I'm not using a calculator. I use some scratch paper to help process the information. And it's like, I don't have any numbers in common. So I'm going to keep on going. 72 plus 24, 96. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm going to add the 2 now to get 12. Now, I am going to shortcut. I notice that when I'm looking at the list of 24, that I see that 120 has a 0 or a 5 in the ones place. That means that this is divisible by 5. So even though I don't see it in my list right now, I know that 120 will eventually show up. It's going to go with a bunch of numbers, and then it'll be 120. So since I've identified it now, I can just say the LCM of 5 and 24 is 120. Similar for number 2, I can go ahead and write out my list. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. As you do this repeatedly, the idea is that you're building up the ability to mentally compute sums. Now, let's compare lists. What number is the lowest one they have in common? And again, I'm looking and I see that this ends in a 0. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my bottom list. And voila, I spot it. The number that they have in common is 40.